Hey folks, it's been some time, hasn't it? It's been about 7 months. Well, I'll blame uni for that, but that's all done and dusted, so you should start seeing a couple more videos from me. But anyway, getting on to today's topic, we're talking about some interesting developments and the future of the West Yorkshire Metro. But I think before we go any further, I feel like we need to talk about how the West Yorkshire Metro came to be. Because, yes, we know it as the West Yorkshire Metro today, but in reality it started its life as the West Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive with WYPTA in April 1974, following some major boundary changes across England, I presume, which gave way to the iconic maroon and cream look for West Yorkshire, all starting with the introduction of Metrobus and the Metro train branding in the late 70s and early 80s, which also saw integration with the bus and trains for the first time under public control. But as we all know how history turned out, bus deregulation came into effect in 1986, with most of the buses being taken out of the public authority's hands and run by the private operator as we know it today. But in the train landscape, as it was still under British Rail in the early 80s, the West Yorkshire PTA opened several new stations, which started in 1982 with Deaton, Fitzwilliam, Crossflats and Slough. 1983 saw Bramley, 1984 for Saltaire, East Garth, Sandal and Outbrig and Frizinghall in 1987, Burley Park, Outward, Cottonley and Connolly in 1988, Berrybrow in 1989, Walsden and Steelton and Silston in 1990, Strughouse, Featherstone, Pontefract Town Shelf and the reopening of the Whitfield to Pontefract line in 1992, Brughouse in 2000, Glasshoughton in 2005, and Appley Bridge in 2015, Kirkstall Ford in 2016, and finally Lowmore in 2017. With White Road Station, the next station to hopefully open at some point in late 2026 and early 2027, albeit if we don't run out of money again. Anyway, there is also a new proposed station in the works at Elland, but given the track record of White Rose, if that ever opens, I'd be surprised. But they've also got 2 more proposed stations in the list which are yet to go through any sort of planning, and that is Leeds Bradford Airport Parkway, just on the Harrogate line, and Thorpe Park, just outside of Leeds between Crossgates and Garforth. So, all being well, and if the track record of White Rose doesn't happen again, they should hopefully open by the end of the decade. But we'll just have to wait and see. But hopefully with GBR, things might progress a bit better. But anyway, as we enter into the 2000s, we see the introduction of the M-Card system, the first out of London smart card zonal system, being introduced in 2005, with London's Oyster card system being introduced in 2003, and is still running today. Ironically not really well known, but hopefully with the new networkization that's happening, that should hopefully be more evident in the future. But going back to the train side of things, there were some special liveries from the past West Yorkshire PT days, with the iconic Arriva WIPT livery sticking around until the late noughties, and the iconic Northern Spirit / West Yorkshire PT livery hanging around until the mid-2015s. These liveries are specific to the 333s that run on the Airedale and Wharfdale lines, but since they have now been repainted in the goddamn awful Northern... in that livery, but let's not argue the 333s are quite cool trains. So that's pretty much where we are with the West Yorkshire Metro up until today. But things are about to change. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it's undergoing a networkization, similar to B-Network in Manchester and other areas in the country. So it's about time I reveal the new name and the new look for the West Yorkshire Transport Network. And it is becoming part of the B-Network. Yes, as you can see in this picture here at Shipley, you can see it's almost accidentally leaked a couple of months ago. And yes, West Yorkshire is becoming part of the B-Network. And the B-Network is expanding at a alarmingly concerning rate, as it seems to be expanding outside of Greater Manchester. What's next? It's going to take over Merseyside and the entire north of England. Anyway, I wish that was real, but actually, no, I wish it wasn't real. And we're only joking with you. That's just a joke. That sound was actually brought up in error. That should be a few months ago, but I just wanted to use that gag because I feel like it's more appropriate. But anyway, all joking aside, I feel like I should actually cut to the actual new look of the West Yorkshire's transport network. So Weaver Network is the new name and the new look for West Yorkshire's public transport network, with bus franchising underway and buses coming under public control in the coming years, starting from March 2027, and the introduction of mass transit in 2028. Well, I say 2028, that's when construction's hopefully going to start. Give or take, there's no delays or problems, with services roughly to start in around the 2030s. But the Weaver Network is actually a really, really nice look to West Yorkshire's public transport system, which for decades has looked a little bit out of place. Like, you're not going to talk about West Yorkshire METRO buses, West Yorkshire METRO it doesn't sound quite right, but Weaver Network buses and Weaver Network trams does actually sound really nice. Hopefully this will gradually be rolled out to the trains as well, which will be quite interesting to see. But I should actually cut to some of these slides that you briefly saw, but I've just got some stills of, and that is some of the names. So you've got Ilkley, you've got Murfield, New Miller Dam, Nottingley, and Ben Riddin. You can clearly have an idea and a suspicion that maybe these may be used on the train side of things, but who knows? But it does look really nice in the different colours they've got going on. So, you know what? The movement and the look of it just generally feels so much modern, so much better. And if you're wondering why they've named the network the Weaver Network, and that is mainly in historical relation to the mills and the textile heritage here in West Yorkshire, as West Yorkshire is really well known for all of its mills and textile heritage. And yes, I know what you're thinking straight away. Oh, West Yorkshire's just gone and copied the Weaver line from the London Overground. Yes, I do agree. It does kind of have that relation of, oh, you know what? We can't be bothered, so we'll just take a name that already exists, and we all know how the London Overground naming went. But in the video you just seen, we also saw a sneak preview of the new bus livery that will be applied to all buses under the Weaver Network. And, well, it looks really nice. It doesn't look overwhelming like Manchester's bus network with its bright, luminous yellow, and not as too shouty, but it's just nice, and it's got nice balance, and it'll sort of stand out, and it generally, from the design point of view, it generally looks quite nice. But I would say that the Weaver Network was pretty much announced today on Monday the 12th of May 2025, but it may or may not have accidentally been leaked in the Reddit post on Saturday, somewhere in a storage site. Yeah, you can sort of see the bus and the new look for the Weaver Network, but in general purpose, it was launched today at Millennium Square in Leeds. But yeah, generally the Weaver Network on the bus actually looks really nice. But you briefly saw it for a second, and that is the new Weaver Network tram livery. Yes, with mass transit coming to West Yorkshire in the coming decades, we got our first look at the new mass transit look, and to be honest, I will say it looks really nice. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of putting Manchester's B Network to shame. And I know I'm comparing it a lot to the B Network in Manchester, but it is the neighbouring transit authority. And to be honest, that was one of the areas that really pushed for bus franchising and the B Network recently. So I'm comparing it to Merseyrail, Liverpool and London. It just doesn't feel right. But generally, the Weaver Network, I do think, is probably one of the best regional networks out there, with one of the best looks. And the tram livery, there's something about it in the green that looks really nice. And a bit 50-50 on the green, but I think it's one of those, it'll grow with us on time, and it looks really nice. But anyway, before I finish and wrap up today's video, I just wanted to also cut to this little snippet that was posted by the West Yorkshire Combined Authority on Twitter earlier on Monday morning, and that was this little pattern thing, and it gave me a little bit of a thought. The seat maquette for the West Yorkshire Metro's, well, it's not the West Yorkshire Metro. It's going to take a while to get used to the Weaver network, but the seat maquette for the Weaver network is going to be quite interesting, I think. But we don't know much yet. So I'm just doing a quick reaction and just a general quick overview of the new look and the new branding, and just let you know it's there. And, well, to be honest, post a video because I haven't posted a video in quite some time. But the pattern and maquette looks really interesting. So the seat maquette for the network might look quite interesting, but at the moment this is all I know, and to be honest, we've also found out that this isn't going to be instant adoption. It's going to be gradually rolled out over the next year or two, but as bus franchising happens in 2027, that's roughly when it's expected to start, then we will see the Weaver network branding being really more prominent, and obviously when mass transit comes on. So I probably would expect to see the whole Weaver network branding and look until the latter half of this decade. But you know what? Generally, the Weaver network sounds alright. It's not the worst, it's not the best, but to be honest, for West Yorkshire, it's better than some other names like West Yorkshire Connect or White Rose Network. It's really hard to pick a name for West Yorkshire, but generally, I think the future for West Yorkshire's network of transport, covering trains, buses, and the new tram system, is looking great. So, after many years of neglect, I think Weaver network is going to create something new. And plus with GBR and the radical reforms in rail, I think Weaver network is set to look quite good. So I think that's pretty much it for me today. And I know I've ranted and I've done a bit of a voiceover sort of style video, but to be honest, I had quite a lot of footage, and to be honest, I couldn't be bothered going out, so I thought I'd do something different today. But anyway, enough of me ranting and rambling. But you know, man, I'm just gonna end it there. But do let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts on the Weaver network is, and what's your general opinion on it. Because to be honest, it looks good, and that's my opinion. But I want to know what your opinion is as well. And if you want to stay up to date with videos, why not hit that subscribe button while you're at it? And if you want to keep up to date with me and whatever I'm doing across the network, because I do travel a lot and go off in places and do post about other stuff on the socials, you can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and on many other platforms. I can't remember, there's that many. But anyway, that's it for me today. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again at some point in the future.